Welcome to Genius Connect. Please subscribe and share.
Hello everyone, my name is Fatema Vora. I teach social science at Jay International School and my topic for today is Nazism and the rise of Hitler. We are going to start with the beginning of the story, that is when Germany was defeated in the First World War. The First World War started in 1914 and ended in 1918. Many of the European countries had joined this war with a view that soon the war would get over and they would get instant victory and they would get some benefits or they would earn something from that victory. But they did not know that this war was going to drag on and it would eventually drain Europe of all its resources. The United States of America joined the Allies in 1917 and the Allies were further strengthened with the US joining, and that is why the Allies emerged victorious. In the beginning years of the war, Germany was getting quick victories, but it lost in the end because eventually it failed to cope up with the resources that the Allied countries had. Germany was a powerful empire in the mid-90s and in the beginning of the 19th century. But eventually it started collapsing, and the biggest reason for its economic collapse was the defeat in the First World War. Germany was defeated harshly in the First World War, and a very, very harsh treaty, which was known as the Treaty of Versailles, was imposed on Germany. Germany was to pay for the entire compensation, that is all the war expenses, and Germany was held responsible for the same. The reason for this is because the Allied countries thought that if Germany hadn't started the First World War, the First World War would never have happened. So that is why Germany was held responsible, and a huge compensation of £6 billion was to be paid by Germany to the other Allied countries. In addition to that, the Allied countries also occupied certain places of Germany, particularly Rutherford, which was an area in Germany responsible for all the gold mines. Germany lost 10% of its population, a lot of its resources, all its major resource producing areas, and in addition to that, there was a collapsing economy because they had to pay for the war compensation. In addition to all this, when the German public were facing this kind of a tough economic situation, the Great Depression happened. That is just 10 years later, in 1929, when Germany was barely back on its feet with US help. US helped Germany with the Dave's plan, which US thought, because the United States thought that the Treaty of Versailles was a very, very harsh and humiliating peace treaty, and that is why Germany deserved some help. So when the Dave's plan was introduced in Germany, for the initial 2 or 3 years, the Germans did become stable, but eventually it lost because in 1929, when the Wall Street Exchange in America crashed, the Great Depression happened, and that led to an even bigger failure economically worldwide. So with all these problems at hand, Germany was trying its level best to cope up, and it was at this very moment when a leader was emerging in Germany. We are talking of none other than Hitler. Hitler was emerging at this very time in Germany when he joined a small group called the National Socialist German Workers' Party, which later on came to be known as the Nazi Party. The Nazi Party initially gained power through making the Germans realize of their potential and making them assure that soon, if the unwanted elements of the society are removed, Germany would definitely do well. The Great Depression saw a lot of changes, and particularly Germany suffered more than average European countries. The youth of Germany were so unemployed that you could see them out on the streets with placards around their neck which said willing to do any work. At the same time, people used to pay to sleep on a line. So there wasn't much that the German government could do in terms of providing people with food, in terms of providing people with shelter, and even the most basic facilities. So in all this, people's anger, frustration was directed towards Weimar Republic. Weimar Republic was the government that was formed when the German empires, the King of Germany, who was responsible for the First World War, and his entire family left as soon as they came to know of this kind of destruction. So immediately after that, the Weimar Republic was formed. When the Weimar Republic was formed, other parties at that time hated them, and the German people hated them even more. The reason why they hated them was because they felt that the Weimar Republic was the reason why the Treaty of Versailles was signed. We'll study about it in the next lecture. Thank you.
I hope you all would have enjoyed this video. Subscribe to Genius Connect and put on the notification to receive more such videos. Like and share this video too. Thanks for watching.